What's going on, you guys? DZRCKS here, back with another Rocks Rant, and today we got a really good one. If you haven't stayed up to date with what's going on in the dance community, this is a popular topic right now, and it is the discussion about using urban to describe your style in dance, or describe the urban choreography style that has blown up over the last decade. It's a big topic, and the thing is, we're not trying to use urban dance. Some people are, some people don't understand it, some people don't know what even urban dance is. So hopefully with this video I'll be able to give you guys some insight on what's going on in the community and answer some of you guys' questions that you may have. So before we get started, if you're new here, go and subscribe for plenty more videos just like this, dropping knowledge, how-tos, rocks rants, rocks reacts, plenty of stuff to help you grow as a dancer, stay up to date with what's going on in the dance community, and have fun with your boy along the way. Other than that, run that intro, let's get right into the video. It's gonna be a good one. With the recent killing of George Floyd, a lot of things have been really making a change to really make sure that things are defined the right way, make sure that there's no cultural appropriation, and there's no misrepresentation. And that's a really important thing to remember when it comes to talking about this topic, and that's what makes the urban topic and debate so deep. Because it does have some deeper roots than just calling something the wrong name. So you may be wondering, first, what is urban dance? I think the best explanation of it that was given, I think, comes from Steezy Studios. I do blame them for really bringing this. This is an old article that came out about what is urban dance. So I brought up the blog so you guys can see what it is. I'm not going to go through everything, but I feel like this kind of defines it purely. It says, what is urban dance? And the answer is, urban dance is a style of dance, community, and lifestyle revolving around choreographed pieces and performances by a dancer or group of dancers. Choreography is influenced by several different dance styles, but is ultimately based on the choreographer's own interpretation of music. A big part of the modern urban dance culture stemmed from collegiate dance teams and competitions. None of that they said sounded like a style, and that's always been my biggest issue. You're labeling something. You're labeling just a type of dance job or dance hobby as a style, and that's not right, because it's not a style. You just do it. Like industry is not a style. Like, you work in the industry, but it's not a style. So the urban dance just based on that doesn't really make too much sense. So they're saying it started with SoCal teams, competitions, and yada yada yada. And if you watch choreography videos, their description is pretty on point. Their description of what it is that they defined it is pretty on point. Well, because you made it up, of course. But like I said, doing that and being on a collegiate team that focuses on choreography isn't a style. It's just not. So if you're still kind of confused about what urban dance is, basically it's the competitions that you can watch, Body Rock, Vibe, Collaboration, K or C, whichever. Those competitive collegiate teams, what they produce, if it's not a foundational piece, then that's where it turns into urban choreography, urban dance. If it's not a foundational piece, it's urban dance, because you're taking from a bunch of things and doing whatever you see fit. Obviously, there's nothing wrong with the collegiate teams and these competitions. These competitions are great. They've expanded dance worldwide, and they've made it so much more accessible for people who don't really have a lot of dance around their area. So I do think that it is a good thing. The only thing I never agreed with was the urban term. So when it first came out, when the Steezy first came out with this, I wasn't fucking with it. Alright, that's it. I wasn't fucking with it. So I went out, I didn't go out of my way, but I did share it, like, what the fuck are they talking about? What this shit? Urban. Urban. The reason urban is such a sensitive topic is because everything outside of dance, you know what they mean when they say urban. You know what they mean. Nigga. You know what they mean. So I felt urban my entire life, and I would be defined in media as urban. Now, a lot of the people who are on the collegiate teams are the furthest away from urban. Furthest, would never be called that. But you're trying to call what you do urban. How'd that work? So the issue turns into this. It turns into an issue of feeling like you're not being represented when a word that has represented you for so long is taken and used in another way that doesn't represent you. It's got its pros and cons. It really does. It has its pros and cons. There's a lot of people who absolutely represent it, and they are urban. It is urban choreography. But the general use of it falls apart because it's based on hip hop elements. But the elements aren't really practiced. They're not really celebrated. It's like urban dance has become like pop music, to where it's just like you just jack from everything. They'll take this melody from R&B, they'll have this rapper, blah 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 blah, come on, they'll take this hip hop bass line, they'll take this rock and roll thing over here, and just mix it up and blah 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 blah, and then bam, pop artist. When it comes to that, it's unfair to everybody else who really works hard to differentiate themselves from everybody else in their own genre. But then there's just somebody who's just like, I just want all this, and you gotta let me be creative. It's just me. And that becomes the even harder part. Like, where do we let people just do them? We're okay with you doing you, but the way you label you has to be you. Like, you can't use something that comes truly from somewhere else that has everything outside of your lane, everything outside of this dance lane right here, urban dance. Urban means something completely different every single other place except here in dance, and that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to close that gap and make sure it's the same universally across the board. This has been circulating around. A lot of teachers, a lot of especially dance studios have been circulating this around. Now, I personally found this one on One Dance Studios Instagram. This has really popped up, and I'm going to read it to you guys if you haven't seen it. A message to our global dance community. As of today, we will no longer be using the term urban on any of our existing platforms. Our intent in adopting this label was to be respectful to foundational styles and to other dance communities. However, we have come to the understanding that there are harmful racial implications associated with it. Like, truly, it took years for y'all to realize that? It took years, really? Come on now, like that. Come on now. If you yourself have never been called urban in your life, and you adopt this word because... Stop it. Stop it. We apologize for any perceived disrespect. No matter the intention, an offensive word to some should be an offensive word to all. We are committed to being proactive during these transformative times, and we encourage others in our community to follow suit. We are listening, we are learning. Next steps are going to take time to figure out. We strive to be better and stand with our BIPOC, Black interracial people of color. I'm gonna take a wild guess. Brothers and sisters. Now, the actual author of that, I don't know. It's not quoted. It is just something that has come out, and yeah, a lot of studios have been sharing, a lot of people have been sharing. But even then, to have to share that, to not know that it's like the racial implications of it, just shows you the lack of diversity in the people making these decisions. It just shows you that. Like, how you, the first time I heard it, I was just like, pick something else. That ain't sure. That ain't sure. It's much love to every studio that's going to make the change. It's an awesome thing to really kind of have something that you've wanted for such a long time actually happen. That sometimes it seems like you can't change people's minds about something, but when it actually happens, it's like, damn, all right, oh. Hey, So, I'm gonna leave you guys with this, and this is my final thought. Urban dance choreography, us not using the name anymore, I do completely agree with. I think that's a misrepresentation of what they were trying to define urban choreography, urban dance as. I think that the urban is a misrepresentation. It's okay to take from hip hop, it's okay to take from funk styles, it's okay to take from this, but it's also okay to just call it choreography. It's okay to just call it a mix of choreography. It kind of seems senseless to take from whatever it is that feeds your soul, but not name it. That seems kind of weird, right? Like, if somebody asks you, what style do you do? Or what style was that piece of choreography? And you took from a little bit of jazz, some hip hop, some popping, and a little bit of crump. If you take from all that, then say each one of them. I think what made urban dance so easy is because, so easy to label it as, is because, well, people are lazy. Who cares if people don't understand what you're talking about when you name everything? Who cares? They're not in dance. But when you talk to real people, when you talk to real dancers, you gotta know what you're doing. You have to. We want you to. And you better know what you're talking about. So you have to just take more time to, people in urban dance, you have to take more time to understand the styles that you're taking from. Yes, it is okay to use fundamentals from each style and make your own choreography. It's choreographed movement to music. That is up to you to do whatever you want to do. It's totally up to you, and I will never change that. But you will be so much better if you understand the style that you're taking from. And I had came up with this, and I thought this was one of the best things, because the urban dance and the choreography scene and the freestyle scene, we haven't got along for a long time because, one, people generally don't practice both anymore. In the past, you did both. It was weird. It wasn't weird if you didn't do it, but majority of the really good dancers did both. So the disconnect has always been, like, where are you passionate about it? And choreography, we've been the ones that had to really try to prove it. I say we because I really focus more on choreography, but I've been in freestyle my whole life. So I had said this the other day, and I thought it was so good. The urban dance scene, the choreography scene, will practice the popping piece, but won't practice popping. And I thought that was so good. I thought that was so good because it's a true definition. You will sit there and make sure you got the music. Bah, bah, he said do this, he said do this, blah, 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 bow, bow. I'm trying to make that piece. But you won't even sit and practice just your hits or your Fresno just to technically, fundamentally, style-wise, be better at it. You'll just go over the choreography, but not over the style. And that's where the disconnect has always been. The freestylers are like, bro, this is what I do, like, and you're mimicking it. You're just mimicking it. No matter how good you end up doing it, you can only do it because it's the choreography. So we have to make sure that whatever you want to call it, to me, just call it open choreography, open styles. I feel like that's such a better word. Do not call it all styles. Do not call it that. But open styles choreography means that I'm open to using whatever it is that I feel like. And that makes more sense than urban, because you are pulling from multiple things. A lot of urban choreography now is pulling from fucking jazz and ballet and shit. Like, so the urban part, when you use that, is like, what you doing? So the important thing is that I just want to end off on is make sure that you understand the styles that you're doing. When you want to be a choreographer or anything like that, understand the styles that you're doing. Sometimes when we talk about textures and things like that, and here, blah, 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 what people can do, we don't talk about tutting. We don't talk about King Tut. We don't talk about animatronics. We don't talk about animation or robotics. We don't talk about that, but that's where really, like, textures and everything, like, really came from with styles. It's taking the time to understand the fundamentals of what you're doing and what style it comes from, and take some time to invest in that style. Take some time to understand the the movement fundamentals and where they come from. The moonwalk, a lot of people don't know, is a tap dance move. A lot of people wouldn't know that. They would just think, oh, that's got to be hip hop. First one to do a moonwalk was a tap dancer named Billy Bailey, who did it at Apollo. And you see him leaving the stage. With the moonwalk, but we only attribute it to hip hop. So we have to stop being lazy in the way we want to define things. If you want to use that style, go out of your way and learn something about the style. Practice the style. I'm not saying you got to become fundamentally sound and blah, 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 but understand what it is that you're trying to teach so you can give a better definition of what you're doing than just, oh yeah, this is just me and just... So that's why urban dance is wrong, and that's why it's so awesome that we're going to get rid of it. We can make a new definition. Like I said, open styles, I feel like it's a great definition of what the urban dance community was trying to be and what it is. A lot of great dancers, a lot of great movers, a lot of amazing people, a lot of amazing leaders have come up in this scene. So they still need a definition, because definitively it is something different under urban dance, but it has developed into its own style, its own thing. So we do need some representation of it. But like I said, I feel like open styles is going to be one of the best things. That's just my... So that is it. Hopefully that answered some of you guys' questions. If you still have questions, just get in the comment box. Let's talk about it. If you've called yourself an urban dancer, what are you looking to call yourself now? Like, how do you feel about it? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let's get in the comment box. Let's talk about it. Dialogue is always going to be the best way to grow. So let's start it up. Let's get in the comment box and let's do it. If you haven't already, make sure you go ahead and subscribe. Make sure you hit the notification bell. Be the first one to comment first. I'll make sure I shout you out. Yeah, much love. I'm really happy about this topic. I'm really happy about the change that's happening in the dance community. There's a lot going on. But there's some good things going on, so I think this is one of the good things. Other than that, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm glad to be back. I'm DZRCKS. I'm out.